Okay. Yo. The beginning is always the weirdest part of any creation. But then of course once you've, let's say, started, you kind of have to continue. Now this is a new way of doing it. I have realized that I still have an old microphone that I can directly connect to the laptop. Thank God I figured that one out, because I often feel like if I'm overusing the other microphone that I have, I may, overuse it. Okay, this is simply going to be about understanding duality, as it says in the title. Okay, yeah. Now, I'm already quite far in the production, but there are these weekly, bit larger projects. Actually, it's not really true. It's just topics that I felt like I wanted to discuss. Now, if you're looking at duality, and sometimes it's a bit annoying if you talk about stuff where you think, well, it's actually really obvious what duality means, and I've already covered it in the p.p.p.s, the ping pong mind games. What is duality? I've already talked about it. And so the question is, what am I going to say now? Well, now I've created a fancy video and the video is already giving you an idea, so everything has two sides. So if you label something or judge it as something, then if you look at duality, it's this, good-bad kind of thing. Which means that if you look at anything and you judge it as good or bad, it's like you think spiders are disgusting, but what is a spider to another spider? I mean, I find some humans disgusting, but what are these humans to other humans? You know what I mean? So think of the meanest guy you can think of, and he'll still possibly in the best way he can love his children, right? So if I look at you and I judge you as something, I can say you're good, I can say you're bad, but both is just like something I make up in my mind. I have run into people where I thought they were my friends, and then I realized, holy shit, they just wanted to use me. They just wanted to steal away my time for themselves, but they would have never given me anything, right? They only gave me always like trinkets, but never the real thing, but they were acting like they have it. And now you can say, well, that's very bad, but you can also say, well, I was the one who was stupid enough to fall for it. But then you can say the good thing is, I realized it at some stage and I started to stay away. But to me it was also a valuable lesson to realize that there are people who try to snatch away basically your life, your mission. They try to act like, I can give you what you want, because they can see it in you or feel it in you, and then they say, I can give you what you want. Here, right? Take it. But if you would take this, then they would have you work for them like a slave, so they could just sit around and do less. because it's basically, if they had the idea that, let's say, somebody owns a place and he thinks that one could make money there by cooking and selling food, and he can read in my mind, let's just assume, right, that is possible, I believe it is, he can read in my mind that I would like to cook for people, and he knows I can cook, right, and maybe I've even said it. And then he says, oh yeah, you can use this place for cooking. But then you look at the place and you're like, but this place is not ready. Plus, if I would cook here, you would tell me what to cook. But I want to decide myself what to cook. So I realize, I'll just say, well, if you want to cook there, you just cook. I never said that, but I simply left. So what's good, what's bad? If somebody treats you with disrespect, then you can say, well, that's bad, or you say, well, it's what he got, right? If he has no respect, then it is still my choice whether I want to spend time with him. I mean, he may still change, but on the other hand, sometimes it's actually quite refreshing if you know that there's actually friendship in there. And then sometimes, what's respect? I mean, I respect you, I don't piss on your lawn, right? But what's respect? Okay, now we're talking about duality. This is about understanding duality. I actually wanted to do this video in another way, but so what helped me to get through most of my life is just the basic understanding of duality, which means you can just flip any coin, right? I mean, unless you're the Joker, right, then all sides of the coin are the joke, and that's basically it, right? There is no good and there's no bad. So understanding duality means, what's white, what's black? What's white to white and what's black to black? Well, if white only identifies with white, then you've got separation. But what you want to understand is that you cannot just, now you were born into the state, and now you say this is bad, but you're still living in it. So a better way is to kind of like, now you're with both feet living in like city-state environment, and now you realize there's something like nature, right? You want to get back to that. So you think I'm just gonna flip the finger to society and run back into nature, but what you're gonna realize is that nature is really empty. And nature at this stage is kind of like owned, right, by the state. I mean, that's what they like to think. Of course, everything is nature, nobody owns shit. But if you just set up a hut somewhere in the woods and say, I'm gonna live here now, then you realize that what seemed good before may turn into a really harsh lesson from life, which is, well, you should have done your homework first, laddie, because you were born into the city and you got used to having electricity and stuff to spend your time with. Like distract yourself. What? And now you're suddenly in the forest? What am I supposed to do here? You're just gonna starve to death. And that's basically what happened in the book, Into the Wild, which was based on real events, or is. So yeah, just thinking about, that's good, that's bad, and that's basically duality. I mean, but, okay, there's more things that flow into this, which is, okay, you see now, there's God, right? Oh, there's God, and everybody looks up, and then there's God. Yes, I pray to God, I love you so much, Allah, Allah. Yeah, but while you're doing this, you also have to realize, oh wow, wait, according to duality, there's God, so that's up, right? That's what we see as up, is like this image of God, right? It's like the thing that is somewhere and gives you energy. But then you realize, well, if I keep praying to that and I stop eating, how well will I live? And how long will I still be around? And then you realize, well, or at least if you have experiences from my own experience, I can say that fasting goes not so well with hard labor. Right, when you're fasting, it's like for turning inwards and, shutting off and kind of secluding yourself. That's like the renunciate path, fasting a lot. But if you want to do the worldly work, then you have to ingest food. And to me, that cannot just be soup. I need something, like I need a proper meal, right? So I look up and say, oh, that's God, and then I only think of God, and I think, God is going to nourish me, and I don't have to eat anymore. He's going to take care of everything. I'm just going to land on the streets and, starve to death. Because I forgot that, up is down, and down is up. So I'm right here, and I'm a being of nature. And whatever that spark is that keeps me alive, I don't really know. All I know is that I have air in me, I have water in me, and I must eat, or otherwise I will, shrivel up like a spider in the corner of your, apartment or whatever, like, and then I'm gone, and then I'm, maybe I'll run around like Gollum or something. But I need something. So duality is also talking about, your spirit, but you've also got a body. So you can meditate as much as you want, but you also have to strengthen. So do your planks, right? Do your planks. You think they're bad now. Wait till you got used to them, because that's your direct path to Ashtanga Yoga, which is the 8-limbed yoga, which, I don't actually know what that means. It just means like, insane skills. Whatever you want, right? You just have to pick and then keep learning. And that's what I think it basically is. Which means to say that, it's a constant struggle, it's a battle, and what then in one area is called duality, is just yoga in another way. So duality means there are two sides, but you must balance them in the middle. So you must balance the spiritual and the worldly, the good and the bad, the white and the black, the conscious thing and the ignorance, because I cannot be conscious of everything, because then I'll turn into like some kind of paranoid maniac running around, staring at everything, trying to be conscious of as many things as I can at the same time. And I've tried that. It's impossible, because there are too many factors. At one point you just have to say, I'll just be ignorant until something strikes me, like I'll pay attention, but I'll just let go into creation and flow. And so there's lots of things I'm just constantly ignorant about, and they just pop up when I need them. So I'm not constantly walking around thinking about duality. Yeah, okay, maybe I do, but that's just me. Okay, let's just assume I'm not doing that. Okay, if I'm not doing that, then that means that, well, I'm actually doing it all the time, because this is such a biased world. People are biased towards spices, towards food. They just say no to everything. They say yes to the wrong things and no to the right things. And they run around and they worship doctors and all that kind of stuff. And I just say, hey, why don't we just, get back to nature? You know, pick up where we left off, realize, you know, we came from nature, so what's the point spitting on it? You know, it's like the child came out of the womb and spits on its own mother. It's just stupid. And you're just throwing a tantrum and you think it looks cool. Or you're just looking like an idiot who forgot how to properly live, who's just wasting away in cars. And that may work well, you know, just neglecting the fact that time's relative, you know, may work well for whatever you think 10 years are. But an eternity of sitting in a car is gonna break your back. And an eternity of sitting, you know, on your sofa chair is gonna break your back. So my approach is, you know, stay active, keep going, and see where you land. And then you can say, well, that's good, and then you say that's bad, and then you flip the coin, whatever. You know, it's all in the middle. It's all in the middle. So whatever extreme opinion you think you have, you know, there's always, you know, exactly the opposite opinion on the other side. Which means that what good is holding on to anything if it's all relative? And that's what duality is teaching. It's all relative. And we say, oh, tomorrow it's gonna be really hot. But what's hot? You say that's like on the right side of the scale, the temperature scale. Then you say cold is on the left side of the temperature scale, but that's just human shit. That's just stuff they made up. That's not how it is. Because hot and cold is the same thing. I mean, frostbite is like getting burned by severe cold. Yeah. And then heat blisters or whatever is then just getting burned by heat. So, you know, cold can actually burn. And when it's really hot, you get goosebumps and start to shiver. So, you know, what's hot, what's cold? I mean, people in Siberia or something, they're drying their clothes at minus 60 degrees Celsius. So, yeah, you get what I'm saying, right? It's all relative. Which is why if you only cling to hot is good and warm is good, yeah, welcome to the desert. You know, we're creating it. That's what cities are. They're pools of heat. They're, you know, deserts. And they're sucking out the land, so it's good, it's bad, you know. Yeah, I've got comfort. But like, you know, future generations may still want some nature around. Okay, I think that's all I need to say about understanding duality. I actually wanted to do this different, but now this is what I got. I just had no idea. I recorded this video that you see in the background, I edited it with Caden Live, still using that on Linux Mint, and I had no idea what else to do with it, and then this idea shot into my mind, and I realized, it's the understanding duality one. But yeah, I am already further, but I'm still stuck with these, so I just have to work them off now, one by one. So yeah, duality, left, right, you know, we're just serpentining through life, and I just have to hit stop now, or this will continue indefinitely.